And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports One. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony show. Anthony, how are you, my friend?
Oh, dude, feeling great. It's Friday. Let's go. It's the weekend. Big day yesterday. Big shout out to Matthew, who graduated. Great day with him. He'll be in studio in a few 20-ish minutes. So it's gonna be dope, dude. Brian, headphones conked out.
Headphones are good. Ever since we got the new connection, been very reliable. Very reliable. So awesome. It was teetering for a second. So I just had to jam it in.
Nice.
And of course, like I said yesterday, congrats to Matthew.
Hell yeah.
So we're all really proud of him here, of course. So much to dive into. But we're gonna start with an update on the PGA Championship at Oak Hill. What a day yesterday, with the 75-minute frost delay. They actually didn't fully finish the first round, so they were out there at 7 o'clock this morning to do that. And it was kind of interesting. Before, they had the darkness suspension, Eric Cole, the 34-year-old rookie who went head-to-head with Chris Kirk at the Honda, earlier this golf season, was in the lead at 5 under, but then his first hole amongst the resumption, he double bogeys to drop back to 3 under, which gave Bryson DeChambeau, who won the 2020 U.S. Open at Winged Foot. There's been a lot of comparisons between these courses, obviously both in New York, both with the thick roughs, and both playing very much so over par. So he shoots at 66, and we have not heard from Bryson in a long time. You remember what a big deal, when we first started talking golf on this show was, it's crazy how far he could drive the ball.
Yeah.
He's changing golf. They have to change golf courses, all that. And then ever since going to Live has kind of faded into, kind of irregularity, where it's like, you're not really thinking of him. You're not really talking about him. But that's a great round by Bryson yesterday. So currently he sits at 4 under, one shot clear of 5 golfers. And I was going to mention to you this before the show, but I figured I'd save it. So tied for second, amongst those 5 golfers is 46-year-old PGA professional. He was 2022 PGA Professional of the Year. So meaning, he's not a professional golfer. They do this for every PGA Championship. The top 20 pros at their respective clubs around the world, they're running these private golf courses. They get to play in the tournament. This is his 5th one.
That's sick.
He shot an opening round even par and is 3 under through 10 holes today. He sits in second place, 46 years old.
Wow.
Like I said, he's had a couple exemptions here and there. But to be one shot back and, you're
That's
not
sick,
a pro. I mean, he's technically a pro, but he's not a PGA player.
Pro.
So
what's his name?
Michael Block.
Michael Block,
so he's
dude.
46 years old. He's the PGA head professional at California's Arroyo Trabuco Golf Club. And they even mic'd him up, and he was just saying, like, heading into this tournament, like I said, it was his 5th PGA championship. He had never made the cut, and he said his goal was to not only make the cut, to be the low PGA professional. So you get honored once the tournament's over. Yeah. And he's hoping that some other PGA, pros join him as well. So that's a great story, something to keep an eye out for. But if we're looking at the top of the leaderboard, Dustin Johnson also at 3 under, Adam Scott at 3 under, Justin Rose at 3 under, as well as Scotty Scheffler and Corey Connors. So some of the names we're used to seeing, Max Homa with a nice 3 under through 6 today after shooting a 1 over 71 yesterday. So he sits tied for 8th with Eric Cole and Ryan Fox, Victor Hovland, and former PGA champion Keegan Bradley at 2 under par. Moving further down the list, we had Rory yesterday finish at 1 over par, so kind of a bob and weave type of round. I think he got up to like 3 or 4 over, so to finish at 1 over relative to the difficulty of this course, not too bad. Xander also is at 1 over. Somebody who really struggled yesterday was definitely John Rahm, shooting an open round 76, so 6 over par for John Rahm. He tees off at 158. He's got some work to do right now. Cut lines at 3 over. I'd imagine maybe it'll move to 4 or 5 over, but needless to say, he's going to need to go under par today. Jordan Spieth at 3 over, Shane Lowry at 3 over, Gary Woodland and Jimmy Walker at 3 over. Phil was playing a pretty decent round. He had to finish this morning, was 1 over, playing the 18th, and he double bogeys. So he shot 3 over 73. Cam Smith, 2 over 72. Justin Thomas, 2 over 72. Brooks Koepka, 2 over 72. So, the theme here being a lot of players, over par and not under par. And right now there's only 27 players, out of the field that was, I believe, 150. There's only, 27 players that are even par or better.
Wow. Tough course then?
It's a very tough course. And actually 156 golfers to be exact. So to only have 27 of them be even or, better, that shows
that's pretty crazy, dude.
how ridiculous it is.
What do you think you'd be shooting?
I mean, honestly, I feel like I'd be lucky for 120. Honestly.
Really?
I mean, think about a rough though, where it's like you're on a par 5, you drive it here in the rough, you're 370 yards out, and you can't advance the ball more than 50 yards because the rough is so thick.
But then come on, 120. Even with your recent stretch of good golf, dude.
Tony, the course, the tees, especially maybe if it's like regular tees, I could do better. But where they're playing from over 7,000 yards, no chance.
That is crazy, dude. It's tough.
So Rochester performing well.
Who did you pick for this?
So
do you remember who you picked?
Wow, I don't know. Oh, well, I have it on the document here. Let me just take a look. I don't know why I'm completely blanking on this. Oh, I did say Koepka.
2 over.
So he's in it. And you said,
Hutton.
Yeah. And
I think he's like 5 over after the first round. I think he's through 6 right now. He's 2 under though.
2 under. Yeah. So 7 over 77 yesterday. Yeah. But what does it matter for you with golf, like on these big tournaments, if the winner is 3 or 4 under versus 14 under, 10 under? Do you think it matters? Do you think it's better this way? What do you think about like a really tough course where you're going to be single digits under par, maybe not even 5 under par? I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, I don't think it really makes a difference to me watching golf, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I still think regardless, you see really impressive shots from golfers, around the course and stuff like that. And honestly, I think, I don't know, for me to see a guy go like 15 under, to me, that seems like it's more impressive. You know what I mean?
And how about when DJ won the Masters 20 under?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude.
And it is kind of interesting too, though, if you think about major championship history, it has changed, I feel like, in recent years where it was always known, okay, the Masters is going to be very tough. The U.S. Open will be probably the toughest test. And then it's like, well, you got the Open Championship, you got the wide open fairways. Typically, the winner of that is going to be, over 10 under par. And then the PGA was kind of in between those, but not this hard. And I feel like they were saying it today, comparing it to Winged Foot, just that it's so hard, the rough, the course is in perfect condition. It's been closed. Right. I talked to you about this. It's been closed since November. Remember, I was saying how long they need to prepare for these type of tournaments. So that's a long time. So they said perfect condition, but I think they've made it where the PGA, like especially for this tournament specifically, is the U.S. Open, because the U.S. Open religiously you'll see right around even par, maybe even over par. But there's been some, I think Brooks is, won a PGA 16 under, whatever it is. But this seems like, we're almost a lock. I know pace wise, if they kept it up, it would be over 10 under par, but I have a feeling winds are kicking up today. They said, especially this afternoon, the golf course will play differently than it's playing this morning. So you couple that. I mean, I think it's the winner of this is going to be 8 under par, 7 under par. Like it's going to be a lot lower than what we're used to.
That's crazy, dude. The conditions, the weather.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess today, though, they're saying sunny 70, but 13-mile-an-hour winds.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's going to move the golf ball a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Of course. At least it's going to be sunny, though. I would think it was projected to rain early in the week.
Yeah, so. I guess it's cleared up a little bit.
That's good, dude.
Good to see that. That's for sure. So we'll give you, any updates that come our way and at least one more leaderboard update before the end of the show, Tony. But I know you're excited. Let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it! Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So a great game last night at the Rogers Center, and the New York Yankees complete 3 out of 4 against the Toronto Blue Jays with an exciting 4-2 victory. This was a tight game really the whole way. You weren't sure that this game was over till the final out. It was definitely in question till then, and Blue Jays definitely had chances in this game. But like I had said coming into this, you knew Nestor was going to bounce back. He had been so bad his previous couple starts that, especially after a loss, especially against a team like the Blue Jays, who have, over the last couple of years quietly became one of your biggest rivals.
Yeah.
Just all the chirping back and forth.
And there was yesterday too, by the way.
Yeah. And going out to the mound, Nestor got, energized by an Aaron Judge first inning 2-run homer. So his 4th home run of this series, made it 2-0. Glaber was on, and you felt like, oh, is this going to be what we were talking about? Barrios, not getting through 5 and really getting hammered by this Yankee offense. He did actually settle down quite much after that. And then in the first inning, for Nestor, he does allow a Bo Bichette home run to left center, 399 feet. That was the second batter of the game. Other than that, though, he really limits the damage, navigates up and down this lineup. And when he left the game after a leadoff walk in the 7th inning, he had only allowed 1 run. And that run ended up coming out to score because Ryan Weber had a little trouble between giving up a hit, having a walk. And it was interesting. They had to go to Weber here in a tight, at that point it was 2-1, or 3-1 actually, because Aaron Hicks had singled in the top half of the inning, scoring Oswaldo Cabrera. So Hicks actually had 3 hits this game, which we'll get to in a second. But the bullpen, the lack of off days, Tony, you have to bring Weber in a very important situation. The bases were loaded. It could have really gotten out of control, but he was fortunate to induce 3 fly balls. One ended up, tagging up a run, but the others were just weak fly balls or the last out of the inning. So he gets out of the inning, Weber, the journeyman. And it was just tough because Nestor walked the leadoff batter on 4 pitches. Then he's coming in. His slider's got a lot of movement. It's not finding the strike zone. So I think it just speaks to the importance of having a deep bullpen because you don't want to have to go to Weber in this situation, because you really wanted this game. And it kind of speaks to, I know the Mets have went through this recently when the bullpen's getting used a lot. I'm forgetting the name, but the guy he was in a high leverage situation over the last couple of days. It might have even been yesterday. You were talking about it from the
Ottavino was yesterday.
But Ottavino, but it's somebody else that's not like, but they keep putting him in. He's kind of a different type of last name. You were just talking about you don't want him in that situation.
Not Drew Smith.
No, the other guy.
Brigham?
Yeah, I think it was Brigham.
Yeah.
Like, you're putting guys in roles that they're not used to having. Right. And then they had to roll the dice again in the 8th inning. They go to Albert Abreu. We've talked about how his stuff is great. You can't rely on him to throw the ball over the plate. And going up against this Blue Jays lineup, and it was the meat of the order, Bichette, Chapman, and Varsho, but he actually gets 2 strikeouts and, got Bichette to chase a slider way out of the zone. So in hitting the fastball 99. So it's just, it's one of those things, it baffles you. It's like, how is it not possible for him to do this on a consistent basis?
Right.
Does he need to change something? It's like one of those like questions that's like so tough to answer.
Yeah, no, I was watching the game last night with Matt. And we were literally watching this inning too. And it was interesting to see him go to his slider. I feel like he doesn't go to his slider as much. So maybe trusting his slider a little bit more, he feels more comfortable having a second pitch that he can go to. So his fastball is a little bit better in terms of locating it. Cause I mean, the slider had tremendous movement on it. And like you said, I mean, he still can hammer the fastball. So
it's crazy though, that strikeout that he got, bless you, of Bichette though. It's like, I don't know. I know it was a good slider, but was that ever in the strike zone? Like, I really don't think so. I think he was just being aggressive there.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, Bo Bichette, he had a dinger, I think, yesterday. Did he hit a home run yesterday, I think? Bo Bichette?
Yeah, no, in the first inning.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So maybe he was just feeling it, and he thought he could like crank another one and like make it a game. But I don't know, dude. We've seen Bo Bichette struggle too. I feel like last year he was benched for a little while too, I think. So you never know.
He's talented though. We know that.
He is.
What do you think's more of a deadly weapon, a slider or a changeup?
I want to say slider,
just because of the movement. Changeup is more just kind of slower arm angle type of scenario.
I mean, we've seen obviously pitchers utilize great changeups, but I just feel like I see more often than not strikeouts happening off of sliders.
Yeah,
so
on that outside, and then it bails 3 feet outside, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I was impressed there. And then, so now, did you watch from that point? Did you watch the rest of the game, or was it just that inning?
So yeah, we watched the rest of the game.
So I was watching it, but I didn't have the sound on. What were they saying about? Because this happened in I guess it would be the top of the 9th. No, not the top of the 9th, the top of the 8th, actually. About Judge when he hit that ball, it looked like he had his second home run of the game, and it hit that line. Did they say, is it that it has to clear that? It can't just hit it on the fly. It has to be on top of that wall. Is that the ruling?
Yeah. That seemed to be the ruling. It seemed like what they were looking at, the umpires, were to see if it touched the fence.
Okay.
So obviously if it touches the fence, it'd be clearly out. But yeah, it hit which Matt was even saying too, why do they even have that blue line there?
Yeah.
It's so thick.
It seems
what's the
like
point of that?
Other parks though, like Minnesota, for instance, like on that upper deck, I feel like you hit that and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So it's like a different rule here. I don't know.
I guess they were, like I said, they were looking for if it bounced up and hit the fence, then it would have been out. But because it, I guess, bounced, it hit that wall at that angle, it was still in, and then obviously came back in. So
yeah. And it was, it was tough because you really wanted that insurance run at that point. It was only a 1-run game, and then Rizzo. I don't understand him sometimes. I guess like we talked about, he just is so aggressive. He's not reading anything. He's just going up there looking to drive the ball. But there were at least 2 strikeouts, Tony, where the ball was in the dirt the whole way, and especially that one in the 9th inning or the 8th inning.
Yeah. So I don't know, dude. It is kind of tough. I think, like you say, he's going up there already predetermined to try and mash a ball. And it's funny, dude. I mean, you were watching him during the game too, and even recently. I mean, I feel like he's growing on Michael. He's been doing pretty well, and 0 for 4 last night.
But at the end of the day, coming up over the weekend, especially, he'll hit a couple home runs because it's like that strategy does work because eventually you're going to be up there. The pitcher is going to throw a heater in a pretty good spot, and you're going to absolutely smash it. That's why he has such success at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, totally. So hopefully that happens.
So I was a little frustrated by that, but luckily Anthony Volpe with a 9th inning home run, a rocket down the line. Love to see that. Love the fact I know, he's still working on the average, obviously at 215, but to have 7 home runs, I think that's second amongst rookies. He's clearly been driving the ball, and I think he's had more power up to this point than they expected.
Oh, yeah.
Which is nice. And I think you combine that with better defense than IKF, more steals on the base pass, you can live with a lower average because at this rate, I mean, it looks like he's going to hit at least 20 home runs. And with IKF, I mean, you're not even getting 10.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of bad, dude.
Nice to have that type of power. He can hit anywhere in the lineup. So that was good to see. And then it was good to see Ron Marinaccio have a nice, easy peasy bottom of the ninth. I thought he would struggle, but then I was like, well, at least he's facing the bottom of the lineup. That gives him his best shot. I think it was Merrifield, Jansen, Kirk, if I'm not mistaken. And he gets through it with 7 pitches. So he had imploded 3 out of his last 4 outings, whatever it is. At the end of the day, though, it results in a nice, easy 4-2 victory over the Blue Jays here, taking 3 out of 4, moving to 26-20, nice. Evening up that road record at 10-10 and getting within 6.5 games of the Rays. So I think, needless to say, it was a very successful midweek series here with the Toronto Blue Jays, something that they're going to look to build off of. And it's nice too, because like we said, Blue Jays have chirped the Yankees. The Yankees have been kind of more reserved in their response. And I think their thought process is they're going to take care of it on the field. That's what they did. So you love to see that. And I love too, felt like this whole series, every single batter contributed, and pitchers too. And one thing I forgot about with Weber is, and I'm trying to think I don't think you weren't watching when Weber was pitching.
No, I think I was.
Okay, so when Vladdy came up against him to pinch hit, didn't you think he was going to hit a grand slam?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I couldn't believe
that
he got out of that.
Yeah. That was crazy. How old is Weber?
I want to say he's 30. He's probably been on like 4 or 5 different organizations. Remember I was saying how he started the game that we were at when Rizzo hit the walk-off and all that. So him stepping up, Abreu stepping up, Marinaccio, his first save, of the season. And then it's so tough with Hicks because that was a big hit to get the 3rd run of the game that he had. That single with 2 outs. But it's like, I still just want him off the team. I mean, I know 3 for 4, it's nice and all that. But don't you think it's like, I feel like him having 3 hits, it delays him getting released. And I just don't like that.
I would definitely agree with that.
Cashman cheesing about it.
Hicks has been playing really well, dude.
Totally. I mean, hey, if you guys need an extra outfielder,
we do.
I mean, I feel like,
I think he had the final 2 outs last night, didn't he?
Yeah. But why not, Tony? I mean, think about it. Fam's been struggling. Why not Hicks this week? Going to switch hitter in the lineup.
Fam did pretty well actually last night, dude.
Yeah, but I'm saying you wouldn't want to have Hicks in there. I feel like, a new environment.
I mean, I don't know. I'm more confident. I don't know. With Fam doing well and Hicks both doing well, I feel like I have more confidence in Fam continuing to do well
Obviously,
over Hicks.
Is ridiculous. Maybe turn it back 5 years and it would be different.
I was actually surprised he caught those last 2 like flyouts without any issues.
I mean, you don't know how to be confident.
So crazy, dude.
Yeah, it really is. But I definitely, like I said, and it made me feel good too because I know, Berrios overall did end up pitching well. So I thought we would get more runs out of him, but the fact too that we got those insurance run late in the game with the Volpe home run, and then we're able to tack on after having a 2-1 lead for most of the game. I just like that. I thought they just showed a lot of grit, a lot of toughness. And do you know, Tony, that they have the best record in Major League Baseball in May at 11-6?
Is that so?
Let's go.
That's really good.
Tides have turned. You love to see that. And now it's Dwayne territory, Cincinnati for the weekend. I would imagine Paul O'Neill will be on the call, as he usually is, a former Cincinnati Red himself. So you feel all good about that. And then you look at the pitching matchup tonight, and it's Clark Schmidt against Ben Lively. And it's kind of interesting. So Lively's pitched well. I don't know much about him, but he's 5 1/3, 1.69 ERA. Schmidt 1 4, 6.3, 52 hits in 40 innings, 14 walks, and 8 home runs in 40 innings. So a home run every 5 innings. So it's funny, so it's minus 165 Yankees, but then on the matchup predictor on ESPN.com, they actually give the Reds the edge here.
Wow.
54.5, despite being 5 games under 500.
They don't know what they're talking about.
But I think it's one of those things, it bodes well for Schmidt to go against them. It's not a high octane offense. So you feel okay about that. And then you would expect on the Yankees side of things that they should be able to put some, runs against the board, against this Reds team. And you just got to hope that, Clark Schmidt doesn't give up 7 runs like he did in his last start against Tampa. You would hope that he would have a similar outing to the one that he did against Oakland, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. You look for that out of him. And, for the Yankees, you want him to kind of, get into that Reds bullpen because other than Diaz over there, it's not too great.
Yeah. Nothing's really great over there. Dude.
No, nothing is great. So looking forward to that. Something different. We don't play Cincinnati often, or we haven't. Now we'll be playing them every season, but it's just a different feel there. Great American ballpark. And it's a shame too, because the Reds have been bad for a while now. And it's like, I feel like with that ballpark, Cincinnati, you think about the Bengals and stuff. When teams are good, they show out.
Oh, yeah.
And they haven't given them anything to cheer about in a while. I want to say the last time, I guess they were in the wild card series, was it 2020, and they didn't score any runs. And they lost to, I don't know if it was the Marlins or something, and or the Cubs. It was something like that. They didn't score any runs the whole series, and Sonny Gray was pitching ridiculous. They had Trevor Bauer. Remember they had him midseason. I think that was 2020.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So it's interesting. The Votto years were okay, but
they still have Puig too. Didn't they have Yasiel Puig?
They did in 2020. Yeah. So a series I expect to play well in, and it's just keep going. Love the record in May. So all good stuff. And the fact that it's 6.5 games, courtesy of the New York Metropolitans, Tony, if you could speak to their 3-2 win over the Rays yesterday and taking 2 out of 3 when their backs were against the wall, no one expecting it. They win 2 games against the team with the best record in baseball.
Yeah, dude. And you know what? It started a little bit different, from 2 days ago, that win to last night's win, or yesterday's win, I should say. And actually, Mike and I caught the tail end of this game, probably the last 2 innings, actually, last 2-3 innings.
Before the driving range?
No, this was before doing some editing, actually. We went to my crib for some lunch, which was actually timed out really well because there was, the Mets afternoon game. So
there you go.
Kind of nice to see that. By the way, you want to talk about attendance? Just a tick below 30,000.
So same thing.
Basically.
But I guess as pathetic as it sounds, they had the 30,000 at a night game. So this being a day game at Thursday, that's
I know Thursday at 1 o'clock. It's
a little momentum.
Bad,
they were going for the series win.
So anyway, 70% capacity. It's all right, dude.
But
it's
it's just mediocre.
Yeah, no, it's great actually. Thank you, dude. So first inning, again, I keep talking about a broken record here. Mets giving up runs in the first inning. Tyler McGill on the mound, kind of a big deal here. He's giving up hits left and right. I think Arozarena gets a hit. Lau gets a hit. And then Ramirez grabs into a fielder's choice. RBI comes in. It's 1-0, just like that. And you're thinking, again, worst nightmare. McGill's not going to be able to hold his own. It's going to be bullpen early. It's going to be kind of a lot of runs type of bay. Mets trailing. Offense has to pick it up and whatever. Offense does pick it up bottom of the first. McGill ends up getting out of that inning. And then again, the Mets, how they do typically answer a lot actually here, in the bottom of the first, McNeil gets a hit, Alonso gets a hit, McNeil gets a hit, Beatty grounds out, for an RBI ground out there, Alonso's able to score. And then, you get a run in, unfortunately you strand the rest of the runners, for that inning. But McGill comes out second inning and again just starts getting strikeouts, get some good pitches together, get some location, looks really good. And then things are kind of all copacetic to the bottom of the fourth when Alonso hits his 3rd home run in 3 games. 446 feet. He's been absolutely
16 now?
pummeling. Is it 15? I think. I could be wrong.
It is 16. How about 16. That, Tony? I'm knowing the Mets better than you.
Wow, dude. But anyway, dude, he's been absolutely just crushing the ball. I mean, I think his last these 3 home runs have been well over 400 feet, which is great to see because again, I was kind of calling him out. He's been in a little bit of a slump. He's supposed to be this leader here. And a veteran leader at that, and our only power bat. So finally seeing him, having a good series against the Rays is great to see. And McGill, I was saying yesterday, McGill, why, 6 innings, 2 earned runs is what we're looking for. His final line, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 4 Ks. Throws only 79 pitches over those 6 innings. So he was pretty efficient. But of course, his stuff was looking kind of hittable. So you don't really blame Buck for going to Raley there in the 7th. Especially, you look at the statistics, 3rd round line the lineup, it doesn't bode well for a lot of pitchers. So But still, I mean, pretty efficient. Only the one walk too. I mean, you got to appreciate that. And then bullpen was business as usual for all of them. Top of the sixth, I did mention those 2 earned runs from McGill. One of them was off of a Lau home run in the sixth. Of course, McGill works his way out of it, and then that's when he gets pulled. And then the Mets were able to score here at this point. It's tied up at 2. Mets were able to score bottom of the sixth, string along a lot of good hits. Tommy Pham actually makes a really nice play. He hits like a bloop grounder, I think the third, and is able to dig out this ball using his speed. Again, someone at his age, it was really nice to see that he still has that speed left in the tank. And I think before in that inning, he made a solid play in the outfield as well, just kind of sprinting to a ball, which again was great to see because we haven't seen a lot of that from Tommy Pham, and to see some good defense out, in left field, I think was also kind of like a breath of fresh air there. For us Mets fans. And then, of course, they bring in Robertson in the 9th to close things out. He got 1 strikeout, I think, off of his curveball, gave up a hit. So things were getting kind of iffy, but I think had a fly out and then a ground out to first to end the game. And again, you think of, a game that was kind of up in the air in the 9th inning. It was, too close to call. Really could have went either way. Of course, we know what Tampa Bay could do. And of course, we've seen Robertson struggle a little bit. But for him to kind of hold it down, get another save here in the season, and for the Mets to string along, 2 back-to-back wins against the Rays, against, arguably the best team in baseball right now, to win this series. First series they won since literally April 19th. So a month.
Wow.
A month ago today. So that was really great to see. And again, I think it's been a while too since they had back-to-back wins even too. So it was great to see that again. Obviously, Buffer seems pretty happy here, saying they're turning the corner, 10-game winning streak. It could happen. We are,
don't count your chickens, Buffer.
I know we are at home though against the Guardians, who had struggled against the White Sox,
right?
Even in their last series,
but I feel like they're not like a pushover team.
No, they're not a pushover team.
Yeah, they have the ability to play better.
Yes, of course, dude.
Yeah.
But again, like the Mets having 2-3 solid starts together here now in a row was really great to see. Even Michael said, Mets was fun to watch with Tony yesterday.
I see some other comments. He's getting robbed for baseball.
Yeah, he is. Those 2 pitchers are psychopaths, he says, in reference to Weber and
Abreu.
No. Marinaccio. Yeah,
Marinaccio.
They did look kind of crazy.
Yeah.
On the mound, and then he's gloating. He watched 2 baseball games yesterday, both
very proud, teams. Very good there, Michael. Yeah, very
good. He's saying, and then yesterday he says, "Let's go, Barnes. Missed you yesterday, but we know you were there with us in spirit."
Absolutely, can't wait for the next celebration, which will be Tony.
The next birthday celebration, you're saying, or the next celebration?
I was saying Sunday.
Oh, this Sunday, yeah, that's cool.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
All right,
I'm super pumped for Horseshoe Sports. It's gonna be great.
I feel like you almost forgot,
PGA, dude. No, I never forget. Never forget, dude. Been thinking about it all week.
I give it to you on a silver platter, Tony. There's just no excitement there.
Well, the next celebration, I was thinking, birthday.
It's not a celebration. It's not a celebration.
I don't know. Dude. It's a celebration, dude.
All right, just wanted to make sure.
Anyway, we got a few other comments from Prefer was getting here too. He wants Michael to watch Kadai Senga. He throws the ghost pitch,
also known as the Hyro.
Yeah. Prefer pumped for the Horseshoe.
What are the chances Prefer shows
up?
He's
not going to be showing up.
Yeah, he's nervous. Prefer's nervous.
Says the Mets Rays series made Mets fans feel things we haven't felt in a long time. Yeah, that's for sure. Again, winning a series, obviously, it's been a month.
How could you feel anything if you're not real?
But
what would you say, Tony? A better chance that we actually ever see Buffer in person, or Michael Block winning the PGA?
Oh, wow. I think there's better chances of us seeing.
Wow, so
Buffer,
you're not giving Block a
honestly.
chance,
No,
huh? I mean,
so,
tied for second, PGA professional, no?
Friday, Brian. Come on.
The tournament doesn't end on Friday.
I forget what I was going to say next, but
of the Mets?
I think that's really about.
Was there comments? I think there was.
We have early comments
VHS
here.
guy?
VHS DVD guy says Downtime TV boys are back in town. Yes, dude.
Let's go.
And then Prefer wants to know our thoughts on 2023 NFL playoff games behind a paywall. You must have Peacock to watch. I think that's kind of bogus. I think
Local team, though, they'll let you
Oh, yeah?
watch it for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, a local team, though, in the playoffs, but,
Wait, I'm not following. Are you saying that they're not going to make the playoffs?
I don't know. I'm
I
just
was
saying,
that
like,
what you meant,
what
though?
if the Giants and Jets are in the playoffs? Then what?
Oh, well, also, I mean, it's just one of those things like if you want to watch something, you're going to find a way to watch it. And it's like, it's almost, Tony, I'm sorry, but not to like make you shed light on Prefer her, but making a big deal about that is almost the same thing as the swearing. It's like, we know what's happening. Streaming is taking over. That's what it is. I mean, what are we going to cry about it? Like, it's like, that's reality.
Yeah. Then he also wants to know our thoughts on Scott Boras getting canned from Francisco Alvarez. Alvarez did change managers. I believe he went with the same manager who has Beatty, I think, who Beatty is.
Agent.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
That manager. Yeah, agent. Yeah.
Interesting, though.
But I mean, I don't know like what the deal is.
I mean, my only thought is like maybe Boris is just a prick, you know?
He seems like a prick to me,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
Matthew comes into the door.
Coming in hot.
What's up,
but
dude?
honestly, I think even though you know Boris is collecting his big, fee. I almost think, Tony, though, and I'm sure he could be annoying, but I almost think it's a bad move by Alvarez just because we see it religiously. Scott Boras gets the top contracts for everybody.
He does. He also like represents a lot of different people and like a lot of different athletes. And
always does it. I mean,
so.
Maybe the occasional time he gets too aggressive and says, "Oh, deny a qualifying offer. We're gonna get better free agent deals," and they don't get anything. But I would say, what does that happen? Less than 5% of the time?
Yeah, probably. But again, I think it's either he has the same agent now as Beatty or Vientos, but. I mean, I don't know. That was kind of cool that now that they have
the
these
same.
two guys have the same agent. Because I don't know if you saw it too yesterday. We can get into the lineup too a little bit. But Beatty and Alvarez did not start yesterday.
Okay.
But they kept cutting them in the dugout or Vientos. Yeah, no, we'll get into that. But they kept cutting to Beatty and Alvarez in the dugout. They were like, dude, literally like laughing and conversing the whole game, arms around each other's shoulders, like seemingly being like best buds, which is really nice to see that these two youthful prospects here in the majors who are sharing an experience literally or in the same boat here, kind of bonding like that. Because I think this is going to bode well for the team in general and their professional careers in terms of production. But getting to the lineup now, which Buck was heavily under fire here. Oh, by the way, Prefer Matthew says, congrats on graduating.
There you go, Prefer.
Yo, thank you, Prefer. Thank you, everyone. I mean, just real quick, sorry, I just got here, but that shit was unbelievable. I was on top of the world because of all the love and just support from everyone who I love and I hold dearly. It was crazy. It was great having you guys there, Tony and
dude, so much fun.
Mike, Renee, and everyone who wasn't there, but in spirit though. And then of course my family, my sisters, my brother-in-law, and my parents. I mean,
so much fun, dude.
Couldn't have done it without them. It's so cliche to say, but it really is true. So I just can't, thank everybody enough, and then everybody who's congratulating me too, like on social media and all that stuff. I just, it's one of those times where it's like, I'll never forget it, and it's just like unbelievable, dude. Like a lot of love and just like almost like overwhelmed, dude. So I just elated yesterday and feel on top of the world today and just excited for this whole new chapter and just love all the love and just all the support and everybody, and I love all you guys.
Well, you definitely deserved it, dude.
Absolutely.
I was telling Brian us practicing our bunts in the backyard.
Oh, dude, we were
Michael Bunting.
It was great.
My mother actually is coming in, also congratulating you, Matthew.
Oh, that's it. Thank you, Mrs. Barnaby. Thank you very much.
Aw.
See you on Sunday, maybe at
Sunday.
the Horseshoe.
Did you come to the Horseshoe?
So
They're in Rhode Island.
no. So she was, and then they switched the my nephew's birthday party to Sunday. So now they're gonna be there. So we'll have to catch her on the next one.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's all right.
3 weeks.
Let's
go,
yeah,
dude.
exactly. Every 3. She'll definitely be there for
I
sure.
think my parents are gonna. They're definitely gonna. Come.
Nice.
Oh, let's go,
Yeah.
dude. It's huge.
That'll
It's gonna be a great
fun.
time,
Yeah, it
dude.
is.
You get
It's
good
gonna be
food,
sick.
good drinks, dude.
It's gonna be a great weekend all around.
Oh yeah, dude.
I feel like it's already begun from yesterday.
Yeah, basically,
Right?
dude. Saturday weekend.
To be honest.
Yeah.
And then, dude, I was telling Tony, I don't know, what are you doing later?
So Sam, what are you guys doing?
Oh no, we might run it back because like
Oh,
everybody,
I got you. Yeah.
like
Food
just come
and-
over and just chill in the yard, whatever.
I got you.
So
We'll talk outside.
obviously- yeah, we'll talk outside.
Dude, talk outside.
We'll talk outside.
But getting back to the Mets lineup last night, right? And again, Buck was under a lot of fire for this. I wouldn't say necessarily fire. I would say like he was asked questions, and because of his responses, he was like kind of blown, kind of thrown on the bus a little bit. You look at the lineup. Obviously, the top half is pretty copacetic. Where you have Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil, Alonso. You have Beatty at third. Pham was in left field, obviously, so that means no Mark Canha. Vogelback at DH. Escobar, which played second base for the most part, because McNeil was out in right field. And then you had Perez in the catching position. Now Marte, who was out with a hand injury, who I think ended up having to play the right field because Beatty was pinch hit for or whatever. But it was kind of weird because Vientos had such a great game playing the field, like hitting well. Like, why is it that he didn't start at all? And again, like Buck, like quite literally was like, oh, like I like Vogelback at DH is what he said. So it was like kind of weird to hear Buck say that because Vogelback really hasn't shown anything. And it was basically saying, like Vientos is, we like Vientos, we like what he's got. He's gonna, but we knew we brought him up. Like he plays third. We have a third baseman. There's not gonna be a spot in the lineup for him every night. And basically, one thing that kind of confused me was like, oh, you guys always look at one game, and it's like we don't do that. It's like, yeah, he played well, he had a great game. Basically say, oh, that was one game. Like, don't be like, oh, this is gonna happen every night. But it's also like, from our perspective, from anyone else's perspective, it's like Vogelback doesn't do anything, dude. Like he still strikes out looking. I mean, last night he was
Vogelback
0 for 3. He was 0 for 3 last
Hicks.
night, dude. And he got on base. They got a walk in the 9th inning. You got a pinch run for him, right? Mark kind of came in to run for him. But it's just like, what are we doing, dude?
Buck might not make it through the season, depending on how the next month plus goes.
I know. I mean, it's just so weird because again, you had McNeil in right field too because of the Marte injury, and you had to start Tommy Pham in left field because Canha just sucks. So it's also like you don't even have that many outfielders to begin with, and you really want McNeil at second base. You had to throw Escobar in at second, which he went 1 for 4 last night, I guess, but. He's really nothing special at all. So, it was just really weird. And to hear Buck, like to the media, I don't know, it just wasn't a good look for him. He didn't really have good answers. I mean, it's just really weird. And why are you starting Vogelback still? It's so weird. Why not have Vientos in at DH? It's just kind of odd to me. And I understand, like, I think he didn't want to start Alvarez because of the time change and everything. So you want to throw Perez in there, whatever. But then there's like, I was reading some articles, like there's talk of, because obviously Alvarez is a minor league option. I think when Nito gets healthy, I think they were saying like Alvarez might go down to the minors.
That's just one of those things like
are you kidding me?
That's going to start a very poor trajectory for
dude.
Buck, for management. Especially the way this season is going, you have a nice, exciting, young prospect there, your top prospect, and then you're going to send him down, and then to top it off, obviously, I'm excited about it, but I know, odds are against him having success. Where does Gary Sanchez fit in? As he's promoted, is he going to start at DH today?
They called him up.
Yes.
Yeah, they did. They called him
him yesterday, and it's like, are you really going to send down Francisco Alvarez to have Gary Sanchez, Vogelback, and Tomas Nito on the major league roster? Are you serious?
Like that's ridiculous.
That
happens.
Would be tough.
Yeah, no shit.
That
dude.
would be so beat, dude.
I know. It would be so beat.
You can't have it, Tony. You'd have to do something.
I mean, at that point, you really have to question, like, what the hell is going on here?
Maybe Buck
has the game passed him by?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know, dude. Again, I mean, he doesn't seem. I mean, just talking to the media, it's not like he's stumbling to articulate thoughts.
He's not like a mumbling, stumbling.
No, he's not at all. But he was definitely getting kind of fresh with the reporter. I don't know if you saw it,
No.
but I think they asked him about Vogelback starting at DH, or they asked him about why Vientos didn't start at DH. However, the question was phrased. He kind of answered it, and then the reporter was like, "Yeah, but like then like why Vogelback or something?" And he's like, "But I just told you why. You may think I didn't tell you why, but I just did."
That's what he said.
He just did by saying, "Oh, I just
Paraphrasing, of
like him
course.
in the lineup."
Yeah.
That's all he said.
He's like, "I like what Vogelback
Well, he's-
brings." Like, and he's like, "Vientos, like, all you guys are, we like his stuff." He told him when we brought him up, like, there's not gonna be an everyday spot for him because we have a third baseman, whatever. And he was like, "You guys are focusing on only one game that he played, like." But again, it's just like, yeah, you could say that for sure. But it's like, what do you see in Vogelback, dude? And it's like,
Right.
how could you not just give Vientos more of a shot to get good looks at the plate? Like, what do we like? What is there? You're not losing anything by starting Vientos over Vogelback, dude. Like I understand he doesn't have a minor league option, whatever, dude. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. The guy's not good. He literally stands there
Stuck in his
and
ways.
strikes out,
Buck.
dude. Yeah,
Stuck in his ways.
which is so weird, bro.
Yeah, I hate that, man. Like when they refuse to adapt. I mean, we've had that with Boone too, Tony. So we kind of feel you. But I mean, yeah, this is pretty,
but I feel like
this has been a tough little stretch for the Mets.
It's different,
dude.
but it's different for Buck though because he's not like Boone. He has full anatomy to do whatever
Right.
he wants.
Yeah,
I know. So it's even more of like, what the fuck are you doing?
This is one of those things, Tony. I know it's crazy and it's almost like coming to an end as quick as like Gallant's tenure with the Rangers did, but it's like it just doesn't seem like he's their future manager. That this is going to last more than even next year. It seems like it's going to be tough for Buck to be manager of the Mets next season.
It seems like this is typical Buck, though, dude. Like the history of Buck, where he's the guy that can build it and build it up, but he can't finish it. So it's like he'll build you up, he'll get you close, and then you got to bring somebody else in to finish the job. I mean, that quintessential example, the 95, dude. Manages the Yanks, 95, they're right there. Gets fired, 96, they bang it.
Well, and the thing is, too, and he got why I got fired because he didn't want to do staff changes.
Yeah, again, so stuck in his ways, dude.
Yeah.
He's just an old head who wants to, it's tough to adapt. You can't fault him too much, but you kind of can because you got to be adaptable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at this point, you kind of can fault him because like he has options, dude. Like,
he's not using them.
Yeah.
And, I feel like it's just because they just want to see what they have, and maybe they would cut him loose that quickly if he's just washed. But kind of feel like Sanchez is gonna be in the lineup tonight.
I mean, better him than Vogelback at DH, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody but Vogel.
Come on.
Yeah. But boy, I mean, would you think they're gonna follow through though with the Alvarez demotion when Nito's back or no?
I really don't think so. There's no way. People will be in an uproar. There'll be riots in the streets.
Yeah. How long are you expecting Gary to last?
I don't know, dude. The weekend, maybe.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
That might be.
He homered at Syracuse.
Yeah, wow.
He's sitting over 300.
Yeah. All right. We'll see what he looks like against Cleveland here.
I don't know. I just feel like Gary Sanchez is not meant to end right here for Gary Sanchez, and I feel like it's he's extra pumped because he's in New York too.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he is. But again, like I'll believe what I see. I love it that he's doing well in the minors. That's great. Hopefully, I mean, I want it to work out. I want it to be a good move for the Mets for sure. And again, I mean, you probably have really nothing to lose with starting him at DH. But I hope it stops there. Like I don't want to see him catching or anything. Like,
No, he shouldn't
way,
be catching. What's the pitching matchup tonight for the Mets?
Honestly, it's a really good question. If I had to guess, I would probably say that it has to be Carrasco. It is.
Carrasco,
they did announce that. Yeah, they did announce Friday Carrasco pitching
against his former team,
Quantrill. He's pitching against Quantrill.
Yeah.
So former team. I mean, I don't know, dude. Again, you're looking at Carlos Carrasco, someone who obviously hasn't pitched in a while because he was injured. Last time he pitched was over a month ago against Oakland. When the Mets were playing well. He lasted 5 innings, 2 earned runs against Oakland, 1 walk, 4 hits. I think he maybe had like 4 Ks or something. I don't know why this app isn't working right now, but I mean, you'll get him so far in the season again, like kind of small sample size, just because he hasn't really, pitched a lot because of the injury. But he has an 8.56 ERA. He's 0-2, 8 Ks on the season. I don't know, dude. Again, it could be like a quality start from him. We've seen that before. He's only pitched 13 2/3 innings so far. So, kind of hard to gauge where he's at. So I don't know, dude. I mean, I think it's kind of a toss-up with him. I think it's really a 50-50 chance of him doing well or doing terribly.
But yeah, to predict the game, what's gonna happen?
I would say that Carrasco lasts like 4 2/3.
Oh,
gives
yeah.
up like 3 or 4 earned runs.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. But the Mets, of course, like yesterday, they started their offense early, 4th inning dinger by Alonso. His bat has been so hot right now. Lineup's obviously not out yet. Game's at 7:10 tonight. But if I had to guess, you're probably going to see Tommy Pham again in the lineup. You're going to see Alvarez back in the catching position.
Vientos?
I want to say, yeah, honestly.
At
Friday
third.
night. Yeah, at third.
Yeah.
Maybe Beatty in like right or left field.
They should try it.
I think they really should try it. Marte, again, I think it was a day-to-day situation with his hand. We'll see what happens. We've seen, again, especially someone his age, a hand injury might be lingering, especially for someone, if your hand hurts, you can't really swing a bat or throw or catch. So it should be interesting there. I would love to see Beatty in the outfield, keep McNeil at second, keep Lindor at short, of course. Vientos at third would be great. And obviously, Nimmo at center field, Alonso at first. Like I said, Alvarez catching. I think that's really probably one of your best bets in terms of your lineup. I do like to see Tommy Pham running around on the field, dude. Like, he does have some speed. It seems like he plays with some urgency, that guy.
Yeah.
Like, Marte doesn't really play with urgency sometimes,
Right.
I feel.
Vogelback.
He doesn't. Vogelback can't play with urgency. So
He's not physically capable.
He's
Tony.
not physically capable. No way, dude. So I'm relying here a lot on the Mets, of course, bullpen guys. You're going to see Drew Smith. I think Robertson yesterday was already on the back-to-back. No, Ottavino, I think, closed out 2 days ago. So Ottavino, on a day's rest, you'll probably see that. Robertson maybe on the back-to-back too if you need him. But if not, we haven't seen Tommy Hunter in a while, so you can probably use him. But nonetheless, I think bullpen will be fine. I think Mets offense will prevail. Let's say Mets win this one 6-4.
6-4.
Yeah, I'll say it. Dude.
Yeah,
I'll
that'd
do
be
it.
a good way to
Put it out there.
start the weekend.
Yeah. Let's go, dude.
And we talked about the Yankees in Cincinnati. The reunion for Pooley in Cincinnati.
Hey, Paul.
Schmidt versus Lively.
What do
like
you
I
think,
said,
dude?
I mean, I guess Schmidt's gonna pitch well, I guess, but like for him pitching well, I mean, it's, I don't know, I guess 5 1/3, maybe 7 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks. Leave the game with the bases loaded, and maybe Wandy gets out of a tough jam.
Okay.
But I think the Yankees offense will be churning in this one. Judge is so locked in, 4 home runs in 4 games against Toronto. That other, a game of inches.
You know
with
what?
that
Thank you, Dan Shulman and whoever the fuck the other guy is.
Yeah, obviously he's
for
pissed.
getting it going, dude.
Absolutely.
Toronto
So
Rats.
you love to see that.
Yeah, Tony?
And I think after we were talking about Rizzo struggling yesterday, chasing out of the zone, could see him having a good game. You love the way Volpe is swinging the bat, and I think at the end of the day, it all amounts to a Yankee 8-4 victory over the Cincinnati Reds to move a season high 7 over 500.
We'll be in Cincinnati, right?
In Pooley.
Cincinnati.
Pooley.
With Paul.
Yeah.
Paulie goes back to Ohio.
Oh,
Cincinnati.
Where does Tony go back to?
Okay.
Vogelback.
Dude, I'm not. No,
Back
stop
with
it,
Vogelback.
dude.
I'm gonna get you a T-shirt of Vogelback's face, dude, and it's gonna say "back" on top, and then with Vogelback underneath, and his face right in the middle.
I would wear that shirt, honestly.
Every day.
You got that for me? I'd wear it.
Wear it every day.
I can't wear it every day. It's ridiculous. Dude.
Every other day.
It would smell.
Every other 2 days.
Every 2 days.
Every 2 days.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fine,
I like
agreed.
that, dude. Let's do it. All right, dude. We'll get the game tonight. Huge slate. The small slate yesterday. Oh man, just looking around here. I know Washington Tigers, dude. What am I looking at?
Washington Tigers.
Washington against the Tigers, not the Washington
Oh.
Tigers. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Right.
I guess give me the. Oh wow, yeah, give me the Astros. Why not, dude? Waldichuk on the mound for the Oakland A's, who will be in Houston against the Astros. Astros have this young guy. What's his name? It's
Hunter Brown?
Brandon Bialek.
Oh, Bjork.
Is that how you say it?
I think so.
Bjork, 27-year-old right-hander. Pretty solid so far. Bullpen
Golly.
guy. 3 ERA, 10 Ks so far on
That
the
should be a
season. Has been used as a starter actually his last 2 outings. Chicago, the most recently, 5 innings, 8 hits, only 1 earned run, a solo home run though. So kind of did a little damage control there. Obviously, we know about Houston's defense and their offense respectively there. So Astros, look at the last 5 games. Well, they won 4 of the last 5. They're on a 4-game winning streak, just sweeping Chicago. Now they're still at home on this homestand against Oakland. Easy money for them. Give me Houston tonight. 6-4.
There we go.
Right, Matthew?
6-4, dude.
There's so many places, Tony,
It's crazy, dude.
that I could really go here. But give me the Dodgers. They screwed me last night, but I don't think Steven Matz is going to keep them at bay. 0-4, 5.62 going against Tony Gonsolin, 1-1, 1.42. And after scoring 16 runs against them last night, I think their offense will be silenced. Wilson Contreras actually had 2 home runs, which is interesting because I know there's been a lot of barking. I think Jack Flaherty and some of the other pitchers don't want to pitch to Contreras because he's that bad behind the plate.
Really?
Maybe that contributed to their terrible start. Obviously,
Wilson
they rebounded.
Contreras?
Yeah. Obviously,
Dude, that's why they want to put him in the outfield.
Yeah, so I think, but that's why, they've rebounded recently. But I think Matz just serves up some home runs here, to Betts, to Muncy, to Josh Outman, who Tony's getting very high on.
Dude.
Yeah,
I like Outman,
performing well.
Yeah.
Performing well. All of it adds up to a Dodger, let's say, 6-2 victory over the Cards.
It's actually funny, but Fur asked us earlier if we saw the game last night of Dodgers Cardinals. Contreras, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. And he says Tommy Edmonds and Newt Bar outfield collision as well.
Yeah, it's like, how does that stuff happen, though? You know what I mean? It's
collisions?
like it happened with the Yankees in the postseason last year. Obviously, me and Matt were pretty annoyed about it.
Right.
But how does that keep happening at this
Lack
point?
of communication, I guess. Just total breakdown, or maybe just heat of the moment. You just don't hear someone. I don't know, dude. It is definitely odd. And you hate to see it, especially players, getting injured or something like that. I mean, it's tough, dude. Especially sometimes these collisions are so they look so bad because 2 guys running full speed.
Right.
And they don't, it's like anytime that happens, they're both getting blindsided, right? It's not like you really see it coming because you don't have the ball. So it's always really iffy. But my next pick here, I do like that pick, by the way, Brian.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh man, Minnesota, dude. What do you think of the Padres? Blake Snell against Paxton. Blake Snell kind of sucks though, dude. So give me a bounce back win by the Rays actually tonight. Why not?
Little last second
Shane
bail there.
McClanahan there on the mound here at home against Milwaukee. Milwaukee with a respectable record. They're 5 over 500 right now. Of course, though, we do know about Tampa Bay. But how about Christian Yelich? Batting 258 on average right now.
7
home runs.
Yeah.
Slugging 424, OBP of 341.
Still a shell.
But unfortunately, that average is leading the team right now. But still, I mean, he's been looking, better, I suppose. Their last few games for Milwaukee here, they dropped 2 out of 3 against St. Louis in St. Louis, and then that's what they swept Kansas City, I think, before that. And of course, we know the most recent play of Tampa Bay here. So give me a little bounce back win from them, though, kind of getting back a little bit on track after losing 2 to the Mets. And of course, I think Milwaukee, in terms of Adrian Heuser on the mound for them.
He sucks.
The 30-year-old, 5.19 ERA. I feel I haven't really seen anything great out of him, dude. He is kind of beat, honestly. So
Why are you so beat?
Easy win here for TJ, dude.
Beat.
10-3, dude.
10-3. How about 2-0 Marlins over the Giants? Alcantara has struggled mightily this year. ERA around 5. DeScalfani, Tony's favorite pitcher, has pitched well, but I think before he's going to chirp me, say, oh, you took the Nationals over the Marlins yesterday. Now you're taking the Marlins over the Giants. Wrong day, all of that. I know he's going to say it, so say it prefer. But anyway.
Who's that guy he was talking about? It was like 6'9".
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, no.
I forgot.
He commented on the sports port at like 4 in the afternoon yesterday.
Yeah, he was so excited. He was so excited before. So excited.
He's happy to be right.
Alcantara, complete game shutout. Giants suck. And I'm gonna say 2-0. Yeah, 2-0. So a couple of things here we're gonna do before we wrap up. First thing, I wanted to mention this because Prefer was very excited. And it is my mistake. Last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, forgot to mention the Kentucky Derby. You know, I guess it's pronounced Mage. Ended up winning. That horse,
not Mage.
Mage could be
It
Mage.
was Mage.
Could be Mage. Wait, did you? I feel like did you miss it?
No.
When I was talking about Pharaoh and I kept saying. I think you missed. I don't think you saw that.
Was it that Friday before the Derby? Was it that?
I think so. I think it was.
I was probably on the
but
plane.
you would have cracked up. Like I just kept going to the Pharaoh.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
my God. Oh no, you know why? Because it was I was with my client.
Oh, okay. And then I forgot too the California Chrome days in Jersey. You're going for the Triple Crown,
and then he blew it.
Yeah. But
an American Pharaoh.
So looking at the Preakness just real quick,
what is that?
Pimlico, is it Pimlico or no? Preakness is I'm blanking here. Is it? Yeah, no, it is at Pimlico because the Belmont is obviously in Elmont, New York. So there you go. So it is at Pimlico Downs, Baltimore. Everybody complains about the track, all of that. But Mage, obviously, Mage. 8-5 favorite here, looking to complete the second leg of the Triple Crown. I'm gonna say he's gonna get upset though, and I saw the name, I like the odds, and I just feel like it's meant to be. We know one thing that we feel like is very important on this show is coffee. So Coffee with Chris, 20-1,
Coffee
will win the 2023 Preakness Stakes.
Who's Chris?
Wow, we got it.
The owner?
Does it matter?
The jockey?
Probably, or the faller.
No,
could be the faller.
it's his brother.
But tell me, like, you see something like that and it's not meant to be.
No, I agree with that. 20-1 shot, huh?
Yeah. And then you know what was funny?
He's definitely gonna win.
So all of my friends, I think it was for the Derby, and there was a horse. I want to say at this point it was like 6 years ago. The horse's name was Looking at Lee. And it's like, my dad's name is Leon. So it just, everybody was getting excited and like, oh, we got to take that horse. Like, it just meant to be. And it was like huge long shot, like 55-1. Everyone was so pissed, leading the entire way. And then like the final stretch, like faded to fourth. But had it 50-1 odds.
That's crazy.
I don't go horse racing too much, but the Triple Crown is kind of sick just to watch for 90 seconds. I mean, right?
Yeah, dude,
100%. Hours.
That's a fun time, dude. Hours of build up for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, so funny.
Solid 2
you
minutes.
Can't beat that. So we'll see if Mage gets upset here or takes the second leg of the Triple Crown.
Right.
But let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot. Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan Stahl. Oh my goodness. That's the gun right back. Terrifying and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliant from Igor Shesterkin. It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
All right. So kind of a crazy game last night in Raleigh, North Carolina. Four overtimes. And this came on the heels of in overtime. Seemed like the Panthers had one goal disallowed for interference.
Yeah, dude.
There was a lengthy review.
So crazy.
That was crazy. This
good call, though. Good call.
I believe ended after 1 Eastern, if I'm not mistaken, last night.
Oh, God, dude.
I think what did this article say? Something about, is it the sixth longest game in NHL history? So Tkachuk with the game winner. So tough for the Hurricanes. And I really thought after they got new life, from that goal being disallowed, that meant that they were going to win, but they could just not find the back of the net. Guys were so fatigued. They were talking about it on the broadcast last night with Kenny Albert, how it's like you're going to skate up and down the ice and then take you out because it's like everybody was 30 plus minutes on the ice.
Yeah.
So it reminded me of like that tough loss we had. I know this was even longer, but against the Penguins last year in that triple overtime game.
Oh yeah, dude.
But you look at the scoring, the numbers in this one. Jarvis got Carolina on the board early, made it 1-0 on the power play. But Barkov and Verhaeghe, who have been so good this postseason, third goal for Barkov, sixth goal for Verhaeghe. Nosin, though, early on in the third, tied it up at 2 on a power play, and then there were no goals. Obviously we had the disallowed goal till Chachuk just into the fourth overtime, 13 seconds in, for his sixth goal of the postseason. Such a tough loss for Carolina here. Chogri texted me, and I know I would feel the same way too, but he's like, obviously this is game one, and he's like, oh, I think it's over. And it's like, I can't say that. I mean, I will say, though, and we talked about this yesterday, I mean, the Panthers are on quite the run, so it's going to be tough, but in no way, shape, or form is it over. So I'm going to be interested to see how they respond. I believe game 2 is tomorrow. But it's so tough to get this far. You look at what the goalies did here. How about Bobrovsky, 63 saves and 65 shots. You go over to Carolina, Frederik Andersen, 57 of 60. You just have to wonder if the game tomorrow, game 2, for a lot of these guys is conditioning going to be a problem after playing a game this long, the 6th longest in NHL history.
Yeah. I mean, I would think so. That's definitely probably the biggest question going to the next game, right? Is how these guys are going to be looking after playing, more than 2 games worth of hockey, of professional, fast-paced, physical hockey in one night. It's kind of crazy. You mentioned some of the stats of this game too. I mean, I thought, we watched some of this game last night at Matt's, and it was, oh my God, it was so exciting, honestly. I feel like, both teams had just significant stretches of good offense. They both showcased great goaltending. Bobrovsky and Frederik Andersen there. Both had some phenomenal saves, definitely goal saving, attempts and stuff like that. So you have to see that from both goaltenders. I think in terms of this series being over, I think it's obviously kind of early to call since it's just game 1 here. I think I had Carolina going in 7. I still think it's very possible. Like I said, both teams exhibited just like tremendous just grit, determination, and obviously skill here. It is, it's just tough. Obviously the Panthers, found the back of the net first here in the 4th overtime, and it was a great goal by Tkachuk. I mean, I forget who passed it to him, but I think Brent Burns just couldn't get the puck out of their own zone. And Bennett picked up along the boards, and he just kind of fed the puck to Tkachuk, and in just one quick motion, he just takes the pass and wrists it, and of course, it's just perfect top left of the goal, and it was just couldn't defend that there for Andersen. So. Obviously Tkachuk's an incredible player. I've been mentioning how not a lot of teams have found answers for that line. And obviously you see it, in the game-winning goal of this game. But I still think it's possible for Carolina to win again. They had tremendous stretches. They scored first in this game as well. So I think maybe a little bit better 5-on-5 play, and of course taking more advantage of the opportunity. I think there were both their goals came from the power play, which is great. But they were 2 for 6. So, I mean, to have 6 opportunities in the power play, and I believe they had an opportunity even in overtime, too. You got to find a way to get past, Bobrovsky. You got to find a way to beat them on the man advantage. I mean, it's as simple as that, Carolina has more than enough talent and skill to do it, too. They just simply did not execute as well as they should have last night. Which is also what I said, though. I don't even remember yesterday. I did say Florida would take game 1, just because of the momentum, the physicality. They out hit last night, Carolina, 46 hits to 35. But again, I think, unfortunately for Carolina here, what would have been, a regular game, obviously now kind of, the playing field significantly lowers here for game 2. I understand, obviously, they have a day's rest, but I mean, you're talking about guys' legs that still feel like jello, dude, tomorrow morning, So it's going to be really interesting to see how certain players respond. Again, I think, in the grand scheme of things, you would maybe expect Florida to answer a little bit better just because of the adversities they've already overcome this postseason. And of course, they won the game too, so I think they have a little bit more, maybe adrenaline on their side. But it should be interesting to see. Makes for great hockey. Certainly, a historic game. You mentioned the 6th longest, hockey game here. It's actually kind of fun. I was doing some research on the other 5, and I think they were all like at least in 6th overtime.
Oh wow,
which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
you're talking 3 full games.
Yeah, insane. But that's what makes hockey so great.
Unbelievable.
Couple of things here to wrap up. I just wanted to, because I just saw he just moved into the tie for the lead. Justin Rose at 4 under. Wow. Now he's 3 under through 7. So the 2013 U.S. Open champion at Marion is now tied with Bryson DeChambeau. Rochester, Matthew. Rochester.
That's a hell of a bite. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. He got. And also, unfortunately, Michael Block 3 over his last 2 holes to move back to tie 14th, even par, but still right there, Tony. So
he's right there.
We'll see if he's there.
We're meeting before, dude.
What are you doing over there?
Why are you over there? And then the only other thing I was going to say, just quickly, is Vegas or Stars tonight? I know you're going to say the Stars, but just say it anyway.
I actually was going to say Golden Knights game 1, dude.
$47 ticket prices, though. Fan enthusiasm, maybe not through the roof.
$47.
I'm going because the Stars are playing. The Stars are playing. That's why. They don't. If it was, Colorado, it'd be 180.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Lack of buzz.
That's so stupid, dude. Stars are one of the top teams in the league.
So the Golden Knights,
really. I say Golden Knights take game 1. Again, I just think they're a harder hitting team than Dallas, and I think it's going to take Dallas some time to adjust. And I know I've been saying Jason Robertson needs to show up. He hasn't showed up yet. So, I mean, I think game 1.
Where are you?
I know. I think just game 1, maybe he still is a little quiet. Computer problems, Brian?
A little bit. We're working through it.
Okay. So give me the Knights. Again, they have momentum. They've had, players absolutely, literally change games, like single players. And again, I just think Jack Eichel, Aiden Hill, I mean, that storyline, 3rd string goalie, absolutely killing it. So I give me the Knights in game 1, but I still think Stars in 6.
Hat trick for Eichel. Sweep incoming. Watch out for it.
Stop it.
But yeah, such an exciting time in a nice weekend ahead of us. My agenda is for the Yankees to win the fucking World Series. How about that, Tony?
No Carson, dude.
That's what we want. So looking forward to that. Obviously, PGA Championship. Crowning a champion as we're probably starting or nearing the start, or maybe even partway through our show at the Horseshoe on Sunday. So that's going to be awesome. Rochester, Matthew.
Live update, dude.
Live update. So that's going to be great. Obviously, the Yankees will be almost done or are done with their 3-game set in Cincinnati. Some hockey over the weekend as well. Not to mention an episode of Screen Time coming up at high noon, Tony. So I know you, Manny, are very excited for this. Maybe Michael or no?
Probably not.
Oh, right. The shoot. Wasn't thinking about that one. Maybe we'll call him.
Maybe.
Yeah, or prefer I'll call him. Either one.
Right? Oh yeah, great weekend coming up. Though.
Yeah,
dude, so much.
Like we said, it's definitely already begun, dude. Started yesterday.
Last question I want to ask you before we close out. Obviously we know there's a way to go, especially in the standings. But do you feel a lot more relaxed about the Yankees now after 3 of the 4 with Toronto?
I love it, dude. I absolutely love it.
You have a vision.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, dude. Thank you, Dan Schulman, and whoever the other schmuck
is. Sparked a freaking fire.
Spark it up.
Spark it, baby.
Spark it. Gary Sanchez, 3 home runs this weekend.
Spark that fucking thing.
Watch out for
He's not, dude. He's not. He's not, dude. Probably 3 strikeouts team, dude. Honestly, dude. I don't care what he does, dude.
Fucking blow it tonight, dude.
Climbs Mount Everest. I don't care. I don't care. But you know what I care about? All of you out there who continue to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee in costume. All of the merch, downtimetv.com. Spring in the air. Jim Nance.
It is, dude.
We want everybody to enjoy the weekend, enjoy the sports. Let's go Yankees. Tony's saying let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets, baby. Let's go Stars.
Enjoy Screen Time.
Sunday, baby.
We'll see you
Vegas, baby.
Sunday.
Vegas.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.